Hi, my name is Basil, and in today's tutorial I'm going to speak about correction requests. So a correction request is basically a request that you place to get your punches corrected. So let's say that for example on the 28th you can see that there is a missing punch out or no punch out, and let's say this user wants to raise a correction request. So what I would do is simply click on the 28th, and I can see that there is only one web punch at 3:24. Now the process to raise a correction request is I would navigate to correction requests, and I would come down to the 28th and click on it, and then I'm going to see that there is a punch on the there is a punch on at 3:24. So let's say I want to add my 8 o'clock morning punch, so I'm just going to enter that in, and you can also use the time over here and press up and down to add the time, and I'm going to add the punch to the table, and you can see that this is a web edit, which is basically a correction. And I'm going to say what's the reason that I'm manually editing this punch. So forgot to punch, and I'm going to go ahead and request correction. Now when you request this correction, it goes to the person, to the reporting manager for this user, and you can see that over here it says Jassim Abbas is the reporting manager. So I'm going to click on request correction, and then you would be able to see that there is a correction request pending right here, and on the table on top you would see that there is a table that says there is an entry that says what is the correction raised for. So now the green indicates the time has been added, and the gray indicates that there is no change. Now I'm going to quickly switch over to the manager dashboard, and this user is the manager, and the way I would get here is I can go to manager dashboard and correction requests, and if I refresh this page you would be able to see that the correction that the other user has raised will be seen over here. Now as a manager I have the permissions to approve, unapprove, or cancel this request altogether. So let's say in this case I go ahead and approve it, and there we go, and you can also see that it's going to be there in the approved punch, and you can see that on the calendar below this is a correction request manager calendar, and you would be able to see there is an entry made over here. Now if I quickly come back to the user's profile and let me refresh this page, you should be able to see that the entry has been made and there is a correction approved and the time is perfectly fine. Now if you can go ahead and raise any number of corrections for the same day. So if I was going to go ahead, I can just click over here and add another correction. Now you must note that if there are multiple pending correction requests, so if I have a pending correction request which is yet to be approved and I go ahead and raise another correction request, my previous pending correction request is going to be replaced with the new one that I have raised. Similarly, you can also have multiple approved correction requests for any given day. And it's also important to note that if I go ahead and cancel this request, then my punches are going to be restored to the original punches that was there for the day. So I can have a web punch, I can have a mobile punch, I can have a Slack punch. All of those are going to be restored to its original state, and going to be restored to the original state, and you should be able to raise a new correction request if you're looking to edit those. Now we also have all audits which are placed over here, which will tell you all the actions that have taken place on the correction request, and even down here you should be able to see all your correction requests and the actions that have been taken on them and who was the one that raised these requests or edited them. Now if you are the admin of an account, let me just quickly go to the admin. Now if the admin wants to raise a correction on behalf of somebody else, they can do that. So all you have to do is search for the user over here. Now you would notice I'm accessing the user's profile. I'm the admin over here. I'm looking at my team member's account. I can even raise a correction request on their behalf. So let's say on the 29th I want to go ahead and raise a correction request. All I would do is navigate to correction requests, go down to the given date, and I can just click on the date, wait for the form to load. Let's say I'm going to add my missing 8 a.m. punch. Let's make it 8:30, and I can put this in as forgot to punch and request correction. Now remember, I'm doing this as an admin, and what this allows me to do is from the same dashboard I can go ahead and approve it. So basically, as an admin, I'm raising a correction request on this user's behalf, and I'm going to get it saved. So let me just click on approve, and that's about it. So you can see that the time will get updated over here as well.